Hi everyone, let's have a quick look at a case study for UberTicket. In this particular case study, we're going to look at a certificate of employment. This is a process which is performed by the HR department. They spend 15, 20, sometimes 30 minutes on a single COE, and they probably do about 20 a day. So we're going to look at how we're going to be using UberTicket to look at how we can make this process a little bit faster for the Human Resources Department and deliver a better service for their customer, in this case, the cloud staffer. In this example, we're going to log on and I've got two accounts that we'll be using. We'll be using a user account called Mr. User, and then we'll be using another account called Mr. HR. In a real world example, these would be cloud staff logons. We do not use shared logons in UberTicket. So let's go across and have a look at how this might actually work. So we're going to start off by going across into my web browser, and I'm going to log on, and we'll just go through. We're going to log on as a user. So this will be a user who will be looking for the COE form. Now, normally you'll notice I logged on using a username and password. Normally with UberTicket, we use the Gmail or the Google logon. So you'd normally just click the red button. For the purposes of this demonstration, I'm using manual accounts so that I can change between them a little bit quicker than having to log back and onto my Gmail. Okay, I've logged on as Mr. User or the user account in this case. You'll notice the interface here. I can see the tickets, I can see the knowledge base, and my tickets are tickets that I have created and are currently being worked on. So at the moment, that's all blank, which is great. And over here, I can see the main button that we'll be using, which allows me to submit a ticket. Now, in this particular case, Mr. User is already a Cloud Staff user, so he will be able to access all of the Cloud Staff forms. So I want to do a certificate of employment. I could scroll through the list of all the forms that are there, and there's probably going to be hundreds, or I'm just going to go through and use the search function here. And let's just go through and have a look at COE. You'll notice that we have about 4 different forms for COEs. The process box number is PB607, and there are 4 forms here. Depending upon what type of COE that I'm looking for, I could choose a certificate of employment which has a financial connection. I can do a travel request or one which details all my employment and compensation package, or I could have one for my Paggy fund and HDMF details. In this case, we're just going to go and use process box 607 number 1, and this is going to be for a standard COE form. So I'm the user in this particular case, and I click it, and it's going to be asking, so what is the full name that I want to have on my form? The third, let's put our full name inside there, and I am the let's put that in there. I'm going to be the chief area officer. And now, when did I start with Cloud Staff? Well, I started back in 2000 and what have I got there? 10, and it's January the 5th. And the date today, I'll put today's date in if you're still employed by Cloud Staff. Okay, which Cloud Staff company am I working with? I'm with Cloud Staff CS Modern Workforce, and there's some details there. And that's all I need to do to start this particular process. So that's all I want on my certificate of employment. Let me go through here, press the next button. Is that correct? Yep, done. So that is all the user needs to do. They're now taken back to the My Tickets section, and here you can see the certificate of employment. It's currently unassigned, but if I want, I can click there and bring that up. Okay, now I'm going to log out. So let's have a look at the next part of this process. Let's have a look at how the Human Resources Department will deal with this ticket. Now, in this particular case, I'm going to log on as Mr. HR. And I'll just go through. Let me just get to refresh. Now, when HR logs on to their browser, they will see some different icons on the left-hand side. You'll notice because they deal with tickets, they get a special tickets button here. And when they click this will show them all the tickets which are currently in their queue. Now, I might go through and just click, I want to have a look at all the open tickets, and there is one here. This was submitted by Mr. User about a minute ago, and I can go through and have a look at this particular task. All right, so here I can see this is what Mr. User is actually looking for. Now, in this case, I'm going to go through and I'm going to assign it to myself. So the status was open. It is now changed to ongoing, which means that I am now working on this. Now, this is a fairly, I'll just class this as a normal priority. And we can scroll through here and have a look at the details. Now, in this particular form, I said I am performing the role of the HR person. Now, if I need to communicate with Mr. User, I can put in some details there and I can send a reply back. If I want to add additional notes to this ticket, which only HR can see or their account management can see, then I would use the private button here. If I choose private, then put some notes inside here, the user who submitted the form will not see those private notes. But okay, so I'm having a look through here, and look, I think he's got them all right there. So what I can now do is just need to, I've gone through my systems, verified that Lloyd really is the chief beer officer and his start date, and that looks about right. Now I'm just going to go and update this form now. So if I click the edit button here, there's some areas which are used for office use only. So I've verified the detail, and I'm going to put in my details. I am John Smith. I work for the HR department and I'm a HR person there. That's all I need. And I'm just going to update the form. And now I need to go and produce the documents to send to the user. So here you'll see I'm going to go through and use the Google button and I'm going to choose the COE file here. What this is doing, UberTickets is now talking to our Google Docs. It's bringing up a template. It's doing a mail merge for us. And voila, hey, presto. Here you can see it's gone through and created the COE form. It's merged in the details. I verify those details when I click the button before, and that's all I need to do. Now I'm going to go through and I'll just download this as a PDF copy. Let me save that file. That looks great. And then back here, I'm going to go back to the user and say, hello, here is your COE. Have a great day. And I'm just going to click the attachment button here and choose the file. And it's going to be one just modified then. Here we have our file. It's now attached. I hit the reply button. Now, my work here is done. So I'm going to change the status of the form now to resolved. And if I go back into my tickets section here, there is no more open tickets and I don't have any ongoing tickets. So my work here is done. So let me log out. Let's go back to the user. And let's log on. Now, here we can see the user has submitted the form and you'll notice that the status has changed. The user will be getting email alerts from UberTicket telling them that there's been some changes. So let's go through and open this up now. Here I can see down here in the history, hi, here's your COE, there's the form, and if I click the PDF, there it is all there, listed out for me. Now, if that's great, if I don't need any changes, that's about perfect. I can simply just go through and close this. So the user, once they're finished, I can close the ticket. Ticket number 104 is now finished and away we go. So that gives you a fairly quick example, a little simple case study about how we use UberTickets. A couple of points I would like to make in this case study. Firstly, you'll notice that we try to collect as much information and as much data from the user as possible. This is called user self-service. So we encourage the user to be able to fill in as much information when we collect it from the form. You'll also notice every process has an ID number, and every department is responsible for creating all the various processes and assigning the ID numbers. Sometimes you might create a sub-process ID number, such as PB607.01 that we had there, but every process inside the company will be assigning ID numbers too. How many forms? Now you'll notice in this case study, we presented the user with 4 different form options. Now you've got to be careful because you don't want too many forms, but you sometimes find that one form will not fit all conditions. So you tend to find that if there was a different service level agreement or different owners or different people who need to respond to the ticket, you would probably create different tickets or alternatively different processes. The other key thing is don't cross the streams. If you're going to be using UberTicket, use UberTicket. Don't take a ticket and then start chatting to the user on Skype or sending them an email from your mailbox. Always use the reply option. Always keep all forms of communication with the user in the medium that they have actually submitted it. So in this particular case, we use UberTickets. We use the reply option. That way you have a continuous history and you can see exactly what's going on. So that's a quick example of case study number 1 on how we can use UberTicket to automate more processes inside CloudStaff. Stay tuned. We have more case studies coming up. Thank you.